So we did a lot today. Quite a few things actually.
Look, bro, we do a lot every day.
We do quite a lot, and we're gonna talk about that. So let's cue the intro. Hello guys, this is Two Latin Brothers Podcast, also known as T.L.B.P. I'm Victor.
Nah, I'm Adrian.
We're back at it again with another not vlog, although we do have vlogs.
Wait, give me a sec. My phone just went off in my pocket.
Of course it did.
It's funny because right before we started recording, you're like, I'm going to put my phone on silent. And I was like, I should probably do the same. And I didn't do that. All right. Okay, we're good. Crisis averted.
Okay. So, as we've said, there was quite a few things we did today.
Right.
And we recorded a vlog.
Right. I know. We recorded a vlog.
We took an adventure. A portion of it wasn't really recorded.
Obviously.
Privacy reasons.
And the fact that we just didn't want to, shove camera in people's face.
Yeah. Yeah. So we did that. You guys will get to see a little bit of one of my friends from the course I'm in, Shane. Just to give you guys the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys will see him for like a few seconds. That won't be like that much. But he did give us a ride to brunch.
Yeah.
We had brunch with him.
Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah.
I kind of liked him. He seems like a chill guy.
He is a chill guy.
Okay, for those I was like first time meeting him, and I was like, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And then he starts talking. You're like, I can get along with this guy.
Yeah.
It's pretty chill.
Chill guy. Let's see. What else did we do?
We got water.
We got water for free. Yeah, that was another thing. We walked along the canal.
I like how you're basically telling the people what our vlog this week is going to be.
Yeah, I know. We walked along the canal. We talked about a few things. How things are changing.
Right, yeah.
We also... okay. You know what? We're changing the subject. I'm just going to move this to something else, such as... How was your week?
It's been an interesting week because, I've done a lot, but not a lot.
Okay.
Like, the last, I want to say 72 hours, were busy.
Okay.
But all the other days were not.
All right.
Does that make any sense?
Yes, it does.
So, for, I don't know why, but on Tuesday, I can't remember what we did, but I was like, I think I went out with our mother, and, I was out all day.
Yep.
And then we went to pick you up.
Yep.
Came home, and then the next day, I can't remember what, something else happened. No, that was another day. On Tuesday, I did something on Tuesday that had me busy all day.
Okay.
And then on Wednesday, you came home.
Yep.
And I was working on some stuff.
Yeah.
Some other stuff. And then on Thursday, which yesterday was the day I went to go pick you up.
Yes.
So yes, then yesterday I did that. And then today started at 2 a.m. At 2 a.m. I was working on a video.
Yep.
And then, well, not really. I mean, I was done working on a video.
Okay.
And then, and then this morning I woke up, I filmed it, and my voice, sounds so bad.
Does it?
I sound so sick. Because, okay, for those who don't know, I do Minecraft videos, and I hadn't done a video in, 4 weeks. I hadn't done a video in, 4 weeks.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So, I'm, talking, and I'm saying how, my health hasn't been that good, and then suddenly my voice just gets super shot for the rest of the video.
Oh, no.
So, it's I just sound more and more sick progressively as the video goes on.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I would have recommended you do is shot of water.
You know what?
Then,
There's a cup. Didn't do anything.
Then some olive oil.
Well, okay, so look, here's the other thing, too. I was also, on a crunch.
Yeah.
We were going to, your friend was going to come, and, we were going to do all that. So, I also had to, I had to, kind of rush through it.
Yep.
But, I mean, The video's up now. It's live. Go check it out.
I mean, we had fun. You know, during brunch, we talked like a few things.
Yeah.
When we were out with my friend, we talked about how we talked about a few other students, like how the dynamic is in the class, and you kind of got to see a glimpse.
So I want to address this. I want to talk about it because I found this super interesting. So like when we were at the college, because we ended up going to the college.
Yes.
And it's on everybody's off day. For some people they have off, and some people they have classes, and they still have to go to school, right? So we go to the college, and there's like a bunch of people in this like studio space where everyone's like hanging out, kind of doing their thing, right? And I'm in there with you, right? Like just kind of like hanging out, like I'm like on my phone, like trying to pretend like I'm not actually there, but I'm totally there. And there were like a few times where like I would chime in and like really quickly easily sway like 5 or 6 people's opinion on something.
Yeah.
And then which I found kind of interesting. There was one comment I made about how like someone should set up cameras and just live stream this.
Yeah.
Like this would be a great because like there's just so many things going on.
Oh yeah.
Like the dynamic is just crazy.
Yeah.
And then people were like, well, and the whole conversation just shifted to that.
Yeah.
And it was funny because your friend, I think he noticed.
Yeah.
She's like, looking at me, how did he do that? He changed the whole conversation. She's like staring at me like, what's going on?
Yeah. I mean, I've done that a few times where I just stir the conversation into something completely different.
Right.
'Cause that's what I tend to do. I also tend to space out a lot in that room.
Oh yeah, because there's too much going on.
There's so many
like
conversations.
Even the person next to you, like it's hard to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But like, I get what you mean because there's so much noise, and a lot of you like, not to say that it's wrong, but like the level of maturity in that room was just so low.
Oh yeah.
It's so interesting. I was like, yo,
I mean, what else can you expect from a bunch of students who are their livelihood will depend on the fact that they make a joke and they don't care how they make the joke.
Right. No, of course. Right. So, but what I found interesting was that dynamic. Like in any other program, this would not be okay.
No, yeah.
Like this is totally out of line. In any other,
it was
program.
perfect for the atmosphere you were in.
Right. Yeah.
But any other course,
you're
probably not acceptable.
It's not okay.
Yeah, it's not.
And it was so interesting to be like in that room, in that like environment for a little bit. Like, man, I'm like, in that instance, I felt old.
Did you?
Yeah, I felt old. I'm like, wow, I'm like so much mature than all these people. Like none of these people, like just, and like some of the comments were just like, I'm like, man, I'm like, even in high school, I wouldn't have made that kind of comment.
Yeah, I know.
So it was like, it was just.
There's just no holding back with a few students.
Right.
With their comments, they have no filter.
But like also like I was able to like because of some of the conversations we've had.
Yeah.
Like some people's personalities and like the way that they clash, it's just like it's like I'm a very psychological person, obviously. Yeah. So that was also interesting to see like the dynamic and stuff. I'm like, okay, so when he's talking about this person, I kind of see like I was able to like
see my angle.
Yeah, I was like suddenly I understood like where you're coming from and all stuff. And I was like,
if someone's watching this and you're part of the program, you're gonna please don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions. Just accept it. Move on.
Yeah, but I mean also I think it's interesting how, just the way like when we left, everybody was like saying bye Victor. Like it was interesting to see that. I'm like suddenly my brother's the popular kid. What happened?
No, it's just that everybody knows everybody.
I know that, but like it was interesting. But as you're walking out, you're like food for thought, and then you just walked out, and I was like, I didn't even know what to say.
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
Yep. That's literally it.
That was your.
I pulled a George Costanza. I said my one good line. All right, I'm out. Peace. I'm going. I'm leaving. And then I left
on a high note.
Yeah, I left on the high note.
Unbelievable.
I didn't care what happened. I just left on the high note.
Left on a high note. He left the people like that.
Yep.
They were all wondering.
That's why next time when they see me, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Victor's so exciting," you know.
Oh, Victor, doing this, doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's interesting. Also, it was interesting to see, how other people are starting their own like little project and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like on the side, like they're doing school, but also on the side because they have all the equipment now to do other stuff. Yeah. And then like you're like trying to like, I'm like, bro, just let him figure it out on his own.
No, it's because. Again, with some of the students who don't have a thick filter, you know what I mean.
Well,
like they have a filter, but they're like they're new to the world. They don't know. They're kids.
For those wondering, it's like a YouTube type stuff and like what we're doing essentially.
Yeah. So basically, just letting them know there are policies, there are
Right,
guidelines.
there's rules. There's like
There's
certain
rules
things
that you
can't
have
say
to
and stuff
follow. You
can't say.
can't be talking about something like super super controversial that will get
Right.
like a lot of hate. It can get removed, and
You can get flagged.
also it's something that shocked them even more
Yeah.
was when I pointed out, you guys have to remember, you're trying to make a career out
Right.
of this.
Also, like in the eyes of the college, I didn't know. I'm pretty sure you know this, but in the eyes of because you're a student at the college,
Yes.
you have to behave a certain way
Oh yeah.
to
There's a
portray the
student code
college
of
in good light.
conduct. Yeah.
So on top of that, like you also have to like follow those specific
Yeah.
code of ethics in anything you make public.
Yeah.
So anything that goes outside publicly has to adhere to those guidelines. So when we were doing this, like
Yeah.
we like we thoroughly went through. We're like, okay,
Yep.
we're in the clear. Like nothing's gonna like come up. And I was
Yeah.
still in college when we started doing the podcast. So
Yeah, and it's interesting in my course for fundamentals.
right,
We're being taught now how to like defend ourselves against if we say something that can defame someone. So we're literally like looking at defamation now.
Oh man,
And
did he pull out like a
like a case study?
yeah, like it was just
Well,
Johnny Depp.
Apparently, we might look at a few case studies and stuff, which I'm looking forward to because I feel like I do really good on that
Yeah,
because I've read these things before.
obviously. I mean,
I'm already knowledgeable to a majority of them.
also because you've watched a lot of like legal shows, so you know a lot of like the legal jargon
Yeah,
and stuff.
It's
It's
great.
like there's a lot of like you learn a lot of the legal like terminology
Also, like
because of that.
not to mention the fact that I give credit to Suits. I give credit to that show. That show is a great show. If you haven't watched it, check it out.
I feel like
Not a
in
paid
like
sponsor, but check it out.
in like 5 or 6 years, maybe like another 4 or 5 years, they'll probably bring it back.
I wouldn't say 4 or 5.
Shit, like 10.
Yeah.
Like a decade from now,
Yeah.
they'll bring it back. They'll be like, it's 2030. We need another season of Suits. Somebody bring
Or
this
they'll
back.
do like some kind of special
Yeah.
or like short movie or something.
As long as they don't do something like, the Friends reunion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I get it, but like,
I enjoyed it, but it's not what I hoped for.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't as nostalgic as like seeing like an episode of like Storyline.
Yeah.
That is just that's
Honestly,
where the,
the
gold is.
best kind of reunion to me would have been just another episode.
Yeah,
But seeing them in today's world.
yeah.
Like that episode, but
everybody
Joey doesn't know how to use a phone or something.
It's like how everybody wants. That's literally a bit. Everybody wants a Seinfeld reunion episode,
yeah.
and you see Costanza frustrated with his phone like freezing or something,
Yeah.
like it not loading an app or something,
Or-
and just
or-
throwing it across the like set.
We're not just being able to hook up to Wi-Fi.
Like, I can't get the Wi-Fi to work, Jerry.
Yeah.
Like that would just be like that would be like the greatest thing ever, right?
Yeah. I'd love something like that for
Yeah.
any show that's ended and wants to come back. Just
Right,
modernized
and-
with today's world.
And a lot of those shows are like, especially like Seinfeld, it's like the
Yeah.
pre-cell phone,
Yeah.
right? So those shows like.
I mean, like
What's crazy to me
Yeah.
is that show, for example, for Seinfeld, it hits on topics that are so common
Yeah.
in like I know it's been like 20, 30 years, but
It's like the flip phone with the little antenna. Stick it out.
yeah, but still, it's crazy that it's like it's still
Yeah.
it still connects on the same level,
Yeah.
right? Same thing with Friends. Like Friends is able to capture a
It
little
ages so well.
yeah.
That's just it. It ages so well. I know there's people out there who are like, I can't handle Friends because of a specific character or this character.
Right.
There's always that one person who's just like, I can't handle that one character. And I'm like, okay, that's totally understandable.
Right.
You suck. But I'm kidding.
Actually, no. What is it? It's like that saying. What is it? There was like I said it was done. It's like apparently like you love things that you don't have in your own life, and then this one guy's like it's like a TikTok, and this guy's like he's just like, and all you hear is like the theme song of Friends play. He's like, wait a minute, do I not have friends?
See, like the thing is, everyone has friends, but you don't have close friends like that. You don't have
I don't have a single friend where I can pull up to his house
Yeah.
and just hang out with him, not even there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have those kinds of friends.
Yeah. I mean, like, everyone has the key
Yeah.
to that one house.
Yeah.
Everyone just
Apartment.
hangs out. Well, yeah, apartment. Your friends live across the hall. Like,
Yeah.
like the chance of that happening is so slim.
Yeah.
So slim. And even in a dorm, if you don't live in the dorms, you got to sign in. You know what I mean? So even then, you can't really pull something like that while you're in college.
Yeah, it's crazy. I also think that those shows, they're like the tipping off, because like comedy now, comedy shows like today are nowhere near as good. I mean, like some of them, like mate, but like like that level of just being able to connect with the audience,
Oh yeah.
I feel isn't like, it doesn't resonate as well.
Well, you also have to remember, right, the time,
Right.
because they pull a few jokes in Friends
Yeah.
that in today's we brush them off because we enjoy the show,
Yeah.
right? There's a few jokes every here now and then, you know,
Yeah.
like, but they're so subtle that you can just
But
walk
at
over
the
them.
same time, comedy is very subjective.
Oh yeah,
There are multiple layers.
oh yeah. See, ogres.
No, don't get into that. That wasn't what I was. No, but I mean, I think comedy is one of those things that shouldn't be able to be affected
Yeah.
by society's viewpoint.
Oh yeah.
Like, we should be able to make fun of everything and anything.
Yeah.
I mean, because that, not that it doesn't just play with freedom of speech, but it also plays with the fact that you have to be able to see the positive
Yeah.
in the darkest of places.
Oh yeah.
Right? And without that, humanity probably wouldn't have made it this far.
Oh yeah.
Like,
And there's comedians that will straight up go do a bit and be like, any cancer patients.
Yeah.
And then the whole room gets so quiet.
You can hear a pin drop in
Yeah,
there.
you could. Because everyone's just
go
like, oh
off.
no, don't go there. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Or there'll be like a specific ethnic race and they'll
Yeah.
be like, any like Mexicans in the room?
Right, yeah. It's like, because now comedians are so scared of being sued or like,
Oh,
something
yeah.
they say, right?
Oh yeah.
So, and because it's, like, today I was watching this video of this guy crying because he had worked an 8-hour shift with 4 people at Starbucks.
Okay.
And he was saying how it was a really hard shift and there was a lot of people, and he's like crying and he's like, I
Yeah.
almost quit. And then the video cuts to like a news anchor on like CNN
Yeah.
saying how like, okay, I think we've pushed like the sensitive society too far. Working an 8-hour shift with 4 other people at a Starbucks
Should
like,
be normal.
I get that there's a lot of people, but like that's not even half a hard job.
Yeah.
Like a real hard job would be like you were like breaking concrete for those 8 hours straight. You know,
Yeah. Like your arms, your shoulders are
right,
hurting.
yeah, like, and this guy's just like emotionally and like maybe physically exhausted because he's been standing all day.
Yeah.
But like the news anchor's like, okay, we've gotten to a point now where we're just too sensitive. Like we have to pull back a little.
Yeah. And I agree with that. And a lot of people have been saying we've let ourselves feel. And we've talked about this before on the podcast.
Yes.
Multiple occasions. And I find myself repeating myself.
You found yourself?
I found myself.
He's
this time.
finally not lost, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
not lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, he has
Yeah.
been found. But right before he says something else, we're going to take a small commercial break.
All right.
Hey guys, sorry I'm interrupting this video. I'm here to tell you to follow both our Instagrams and the podcast Instagram. Bro, what do you think about that?
Yeah, man, I approve this message. All right, we're back.
Yep. I really got to update that ad. I got to tell you.
Yeah, we really should. We should make a few clips or
Yeah, we should probably also like
do a few
upload to
ad-libs.
Instagram
Yeah, that's a good idea.
so people have a reason to follow us on Instagram. Like, I haven't uploaded in so long.
Yeah. I mean, we can use the same sort of. I mean, I can just, if you want, I can make a bunch of ad libs for the ads, for like the ads of our Instagrams.
Yeah, okay, sure.
And then you
alright.
just make like different banners and then just smack the audio on there.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then I'll write you like a small script. You read it and then
I'll just like, I'm not a voice actor.
it's fine. What do you think I'm doing in class?
That's different.
Should read it.
You're being trained to do that. I'm not. I'm not a trained professional. You know what's funny? It's funny because you point out certain things I do when we're on the podcast.
Yeah.
And you're like, I was taught not to do that on the pod. Like today on the radio, and I was like, okay, well, this is podcast and I don't care. You
Yeah.
know, sort of thing. But it is interesting to see how you're learning
Yeah.
and how like it affects even this.
Yeah.
Right. So one of those
Just
things.
my speech alone, I feel the need to enunciate, to
Better.
not say or like, even though I still do, because it's a habit I have to get rid of.
Right, for sure.
Slowly and progressively with practice, and I like to take this as practice.
I like how you said like in that sentence.
I know. See how much of an issue that is?
I remember when I was in grade 6, we had to write a descriptive paragraph about anything.
Uh-huh.
And I had this our teacher, he grabbed this girl was like writing a paragraph, and she said something about how the day was nice or something about it was like a memory she had or
The
something.
day was beautiful.
No, he said she wrote the day was nice.
Okay.
And he grabbed her paper and like ripped it apart. Like he ripped it into little pieces and then threw it like in the trash, and he's like, start over.
The day sucked.
No, wait. And she goes, why do I need to start? She's like, what was wrong with that?
Yeah.
Like there wasn't even like a comma out of place.
Yeah.
And he goes, nice isn't descriptive enough. And
Okay.
and we all go, well, okay. He's like, and he did what you did. He's like, you
Yeah.
could have said the day was nice. It was, the sun was out. Like, give me more detail
Yeah.
as to why the day was nice, because it could be gloomy outside and it could still be a nice day.
I mean, what if she said the day was beautiful?
That's being more descriptive.
How so?
But I mean, typically, but you know what I mean? Like,
If a teacher pulled that on me, I would.
okay,
I
so
wouldn't hold
this is
back.
the thing, right? And then,
Yeah.
but this is how the world used to be before your time,
Uh-huh.
right? And then I remember when I was in grade, talking about this now. When I was in grade 8, I remember this guy had an essay ripped open.
Yes.
Not ripped open, ripped apart.
It was
And the
ripped
reason
open,
was
like a
because he
case.
didn't know how to use the right there.
Okay.
He would always use the wrong there.
Yeah.
And so she had explained it to him multiple times, and
Yeah.
he always used the wrong there. Like, they and then /r,
Uh-huh.
or there as in THERE, or there as in THIER.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So even I'm not sure anymore. There's so many there.
It's just that you're spelling it in your head.
Yeah, I'm
so.
selling it in my head, and I'm dyslexic, so that doesn't really work out really.
Yeah.
So
Even I doubted myself there for a second.
it's like, are we spelling right? Anyway, but it was you guys get what I mean. But it was funny because he wrote the essay,
Yeah.
and in every instance he would use the wrong there in the wrong place.
Yeah.
So she just ripped apart the essay, and she's like, "You're gonna rewrite the whole essay." She's like, "Can I at least look at like the pieces?"
See, for me, that took me a while.
Yeah.
The theirs.
Yeah.
That took me a while. I didn't understand that THERE
Mm-hmm.
was something's over there.
Mm-hmm.
It was happening there.
I met a kid
And then
who
it's or they're going. There is like it's the term for a grouping of people,
Right.
right? That are doing something.
right.
And then location, not location.
Right, yeah. So
Kind of like that. This is even then I struggled explaining it, but I know where to use it.
you know what's interesting? I
Yeah.
never properly learned how to use it.
Yeah.
I just know how to do it subconsciously.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it.
It's weird. I've learned to do
I know
it.
how to do it now. Like I've been writing for so long, and
I surprise myself.
Yeah.
I'm writing, and I read back. I'm like, huh, I knew.
like suddenly I know how to write words down on a sheet of paper. And
Yeah, like I
know.
was reading a little paper I wrote on psychedelics one time, and I was like, what? I'm a good writer, man. Like, woo.
Yeah, no. Obviously, it's crazy. I think the more we go about,
Yeah.
especially in English, because there's a lot of things in English that don't make any sense.
See, you know what's weird about radio for me now
What?
is that I'm being.
You just realized he's been like a little bit off center the entire
'Cause he's
episode. No.
mine.
A little more this way. He's been a little bit off center the entire episode. It's probably driven some people crazy the entire
It's
time.
fine. Accept it. No, I'm kidding.
That guy
I mean,
over
these
there.
things tend to be crooked, so pay attention to that.
I mean, sometimes I like hit it when I sit down and my head bangs.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. psychedelics. Then you said this.
It's because I looked at the little viewfinder.
Why did you do that to me?
Because I can.
It was gonna be we were on a flow, and you decided to disrupt the flow.
I can disrupt flows.
No,
I'm no rap, but I'm not a rapper.
What?
But I'm not a rapper. Oh my god. No, I got no flow.
Man, I hate when that happens.
Okay, I'm changing the topic.
No.
Ready? Okay, here we go. So today we were out, right? We were out and about, as the people know already.
Sure.
And I was leaning up against like this wall, cause you went to the little men's room.
To little boy's room.
To little men's room.
To little boy's room.
Anyway, so I'm leaning up against this wall, waiting for you to come back, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like on my phone, and then suddenly I hear this guy talking, right? And I look up, and it's this guy talking to this girl.
Yes.
And like they're both in high school, cause they're like wearing like Catholic school uniforms.
Yes.
And I turn and look, like I'm looking up, and no joke, I see this a lot, especially among teenagers.
Yes.
But I think it's interesting when the guy is just so dense and doesn't get the hint.
Yeah.
Because the girl was like physically just done with it.
Yeah.
Like she was like, okay, cool, whatever, you know. And he's like, but like, come on, like, and he's like really being insistent.
Yeah.
And she's just so done with it, like, yo, dude, I'm not interested.
I hate when that happens.
Right.
And like you can see it on the girl's face.
Yeah.
That she's just like, I'm not interested in starting something here.
Yeah.
And I almost want to like stop what I'm saying and be like, I don't care if you're interested or not. I'm not trying to get with you. I'm just trying to tell you a story.
Yeah. No, but what's really funny is like, I also think at the same time, that girl messed up.
Okay.
Because she could have just been like, okay, I get it. I'm not interested. Like she could have just said the words instead of going around.
I don't know what it is, but maybe it's the fact that we know other people are sensitive or something. But girls, please, if you're not interested, just say it out loud.
It's not that hard.
Just so you know, I'm not interested in you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it crushed his heart. Great.
He'll be better for it.
He'll be better for it. He won't waste his time, thinking he has hope. Do the man a favor. Let him work on himself,
But all right, so this happens, right? And I think it's interesting because all his like buddies were like hanging out, like they were like lingering a little further away. And
they were letting him do whatever he was doing.
Yeah, but one of them's like, yo man, he's like like you could see, like I could see him mouthing the words, yo, he's failing so hard over there. Like someone help the brother out, sort of thing. And I was like, guys, and I was like just like shaking my head, like don't jump in here.
From the moment you like someone, the issue is you put them on a pedestal.
Right.
That is the number one
especially
mistake.
As a teenager. Well, okay, so recently I had a conversation with someone where we were talking about how it was a while ago, but we were talking about how someone was saying how the relationship they had, like they've never gone through like proper heartbreak.
Yeah.
Okay, so the average human, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's 15, 14, 16, that's around the usual area where people go through like their first like
real heartbreak.
Like where like it's like, oh, I'm gonna die sort of heartbreak, right?
I'm gonna go cry in the bathtub later.
Okay, well, that's not what I'm saying. Anyway, so this person's like closer to my age.
Yeah.
And they're like telling me, yeah, I've never had that before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And they were telling me about like this relationship they'd had with somebody.
Yeah.
And how they were like, this person was like the person of my dreams. I really love this guy.
Yeah.
It was like this whole thing, and I was like, okay, that's great and all, but like, I
See,
thought,
the
no,
biggest,
but look, no, so wait,
issue.
so here's listen to this, okay? So I follow up with, but isn't this like your fourth boyfriend?
Yeah.
And she goes,
I never loved those guys.
That's one of them. I'm like, okay, but what about the last guy? And she goes, I was just bored. And I'm like, what is it? I'm like, you can't be saying that out loud.
I've heard that.
I'm like, you cannot be saying that out loud. That is so like that's so bad. Like, poor guy,
Yeah.
Like, he had hope that it was going somewhere, and you're just like, I was just bored. And I'm like,
there's a difference between crushing on someone,
right,
loving someone, and being infatuated with someone.
Right. So okay, so here's the thing, right? So as an adult,
yes,
like going through heartbreak, it's kind of reckless.
Yeah.
Because most people develop some sort of vice.
Yeah.
Where they end up like, like a severe alcoholic, or they fall into like crazy depression.
Yeah.
Or they just, it kind of like
see, like it tends to migrate into something else, because
right.
they don't, and I find this more from my own perspective. People who haven't explored like feeling those kinds of emotions young,
Right.
and then they experience it more when they're older,
Right.
they tend to not cope properly with it.
Right. Yeah.
They almost develop a separation anxiety from not being with that person anymore, and it makes them depressed,
Yeah.
which is something that's supposed to happen when you're a kid.
But here's the other
And then
issue.
since
Okay,
you're a
look,
kid,
so-
you can just step back up. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right, right. But here's the other issue with this. Okay,
Yeah.
what ends up happening is that most of them, they go to social media.
Yeah.
That dopamine hit, real
Yeah.
quick. Throw up something on the gram,
Yeah.
and they'll post a long paragraph about how they're better without that person.
Yeah.
Every girl jump into
See,
the
like-
chat. No, every other girl jump into the chat being like,
You got this, girl. It's
I'm
fine. You
rooting
didn't
for
need
you.
him anyways. He sucked. He
Meanwhile,
was a loser.
meanwhile, her DMs are blowing up because every guy who ever thought he had a chance is now in her DMs, right?
Yeah.
So like
the guy best friend, or
the guy who's trying to get out of the friend zone.
Yeah.
He showed up. He's like, I'm here for you if you need to talk.
Yeah, I know.
There.
See,
But-
I've been that guy.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything, but I heard what happened. If you want to talk about it, just know my doors are open for you to.
Your
come talk.
doors.
Well, not my doors, not the doors.
My number is available to you.
If you actually need someone to talk to and you're not feeling okay,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Right.
But I always tell them like talk to this person, and I like direct them to their best friend.
Right.
But I just let them know, I'm here in case you don't want to tell your best friend something and you need that one person.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I usually go, look, if you want to talk about we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But if not, and you feel like it's a lot,
Yeah.
maybe you should seek help.
Yeah.
And usually, like at a high school, there's a counselor, like somebody you can actually talk to, who's like they're certified in that sort of area or expertise, right? But as an adult,
Oh yeah.
these services aren't exactly around every corner.
Costs money.
I mean, in Canada, there are places where you can go and get professional for free.
Yeah.
So it's not like, it's just they're always like way overbooked because
People finally decide I'm gonna go.
yeah,
do
I know,
this,
right?
and
So it's very challenging, right? And
Yeah.
like they can only take so many clients a day, and it's
Yeah.
a whole legal thing. Anyway, getting back to the point. So obviously, like I'm explaining this to them, like, well, okay, so you need to like figure this out in a way where you don't hurt yourself,
yeah.
right? So,
Going back to my initial statement.
Yeah.
The first mistake is putting that one person you like on a pedestal.
right,
Don't do that. If you're a teenager listening to this right now and you like a girl, take her off that pedestal. Please do not put her on that pedestal.
too late, already done.
I know. You can remove her though.
Oh, what is it? Okay, so I was telling you, was it you?
I don't know.
Or I think it was somebody else. I was telling how like, I was this one time, I can't remember where I was, where, I was telling her about how like I realized I was part of someone's heartbreak
Yeah.
subconsciously without even knowing it.
Yeah.
So it's one time in high school.
It happens.
So when I was like 14 years old,
Men.
let me finish. When I was like 14 years old,
Yeah.
okay, I was like, I was talking, hanging out, and there's like this girl in the class. I won't say her name. Maybe I shouldn't. We were in a class. I'm not gonna say what class because everybody's gonna know who wrote it as well. Anyway, so we're in this class.
Yeah.
And she's rather shy. She doesn't talk
Yeah.
a lot. And she's like, we're walking around, and someone bumps into her, and one of her notebooks falls, and it falls like flat open.
Mm-hmm.
And I go,
Just your name
I go to pick it up.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, don't worry. And then I go, no, I got it. And I pick it up and I flip it over,
Yeah.
and I see the page.
Yeah.
And one of the pages is like, math work.
Yeah.
The other page, bro. The other page is
Total
her.
confession.
No, and her on the other page is her name and my last name, just down like 100 million times down the page.
Oh my gosh.
And I turn and look up at her, and I'm like, close the book. And I'm like, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see anything. I hand it back to her,
Yeah.
and then we never spoke about it.
Yeah.
Like we never spoke about it.
Yeah.
And then later on, I ran into like one of her friends, and I was like, hey, how's so and so? And she goes, oh yeah, dude, after the notebook thing, she was just like broken. I was like, what? She's like, yeah. She was like, she was crushing so hard. Like, she felt like like her deepest darkest secret had been like put
It
on
was
air.
just leaked.
Yeah, like it was like put on like national television. It was like an emergency like
TMZ leaked
yeah.
it.
And I was like, okay, because I'm like, because the direct source got it.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And then she's like, she was just a wreck after that. And like, it took her a long time to move on and like find somebody. But
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. I'm like, and you know what's crazy
Yeah.
is I think we only had like a total like maybe 4 or 5 conversations.
See, like that's what blows me away. The fact that as people, just by recurringly seeing them but not even actually needing to talk to them,
Right.
you develop an attachment,
Yeah.
put them on that pedestal.
Stop with the pedestal.
No, because it's true.
You put them on a throne.
No, not a throne, because like then that just makes you a slave. Kinky.
Stop. Rewind. PG.
Yeah, so you put them on that pedestal,
Right.
and then you end up liking that person, and that's a crush.
Yeah.
A crush is when you like someone, but you don't go out of your way to make that into something,
Right.
to turn it into a form of something.
Okay, so have you ever had this situation where you're talking to a girl and then she brings up, "Hey, are you crushing on me?" Like she'll just casually like at left field.
Yeah.
And then you sit there and think about it and you're like,
Am I?
yeah, right. That exact I've had that happen.
internal monologue with yourself. You're like, okay, well, the day I met her, let's find this out.
Right. I've had that happen so many times.
Yeah.
Just so many times where I'm like, did I was there a time where I did or I didn't? And then
Yeah.
I'm like, and if there isn't a time where I did, do I now? And
Yeah.
have I not like real? So I've had that happen. This one time this girl asked me that,
Yeah.
and no joke, she's like, "You do," and I was like, "I'm still figuring it out," and I just walked away, and we didn't talk for a solid week after that, because I was like,
But with the and this is where manipulation comes into play.
right,
Friends.
yeah,
When friends see you talking to a girl
right, yeah,
and they notice you and the girl get along, they start putting ideas in your mind.
right, yeah,
So subliminal ideas like, dude, you like her? And then you're like, no, I don't. And you're slowly convincing yourself. It's like peer pressure without peer pressure. It's
right,
it's,
yeah. They
it's an adrenaline rush, I tell you.
So, but it is
happens.
True. I've seen that happen. Yeah.
It happens. And if you tell someone enough times,
They'll believe it.
they'll start to believe it.
Yeah.
That they actually like that
Right.
person.
So
And then we get into infatuation.
right. So, but what I was getting at is like those crushes. They're like incognito crushes.
Yeah.
Because you're not even aware that. But I've had instances where someone else later on pointed out to me.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I don't get why you and so never went out. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, you were both crushing on each other so hard and nothing ever happened.
It's because it was crush.
And I was like, wait, what? And they go, yeah. I go, because
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that
You're like, I didn't know I liked her.
like I didn't even know I was like showing that off kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? And then they're like, yeah, like me and the other guys like in the back of the room, we were rooting for you two. I'm like, you guys, there was like bets and stuff. Like what? What is going on? I'm like, I had no idea. We never even like, how did we get to this point? How did this happen? You know?
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because I think those kinds of crushes are like, those are the memories you remember
Yeah.
as harmless friend-like relationships
Yeah.
of like funny memories or like moments that happen.
Yep.
But looking back at them now, you're like, man, there was something there, and I did nothing about it.
Here's the thing, you're hurting me.
Like it's real. I find it so interesting. I was gonna say funny. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's interesting that these sorts of things happen, and they happen like probably like over a billion times a day.
The other issue is, especially when you're young, your hormones are flipping
Right,
on
yeah,
like
yeah.
ultra.
Yeah, that's the other issue.
So you're crushing on everybody. You're flirting with everyone,
Oh yeah.
and sometimes you don't even know.
Yo, I told you about that art class I had.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had this. This is the last story I'm gonna tell.
Yeah.
I had this one art class. This became story time with Adrian.
Yeah, I know.
I had this one art class in grade, and I'm not gonna say what grade it was,
Mm-hmm.
where it was like just everybody was flirting with everybody all the time.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this podcast now. I'm giving out way too much out here. People are gonna start writing notes down.
You're like in the comments, Victor. I need your your advice.
And I'm gonna be like
on this topic.
Good luck with you.
Be like, vaya con Dios.
And see, like, here's the. I don't want to let you finish your story.
No, that was it. I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
Okay. To be honest with you, it's kind of wrap up time. It is.
You got nothing else to say about the infatuation part?
About the infatuation. Well, all three of them are intertwined.
Right.
A crush can turn into infatuation, and then infatuation can turn into love.
Mm-hmm.
And then it can go backwards with time.
Right, yeah.
But that could be a whole other episode of the podcast,
which you'll probably never get to.
I'm scared to continue this because I don't want people from class being like, yo, so I got this girl, and I don't want that. I don't come to me for relationship advice.
Slowly the podcast is turning into relationship advice.
Honestly, maybe we make a Patreon on how observing society and based on the psychology that we know,
and the statistics and the behavioral ins and outs of behavioral. And no, I'm not doing any of that. It's too much work.
I mean, we could, and it'd be interesting. I feel like we could pull some things that people would be like, "Is that even in a book?" And I'd be like, "Nah, that's experience."
Nah, man, I pulled that out of a rabbit's hat the other day.
See, that's wisdom.
that's life experience.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap up.
We're gonna wrap that up now. Okay, guys, this has been Two Line Brothers Podcast. Everything's always in the description, whether it be up, down, left, or right. Make sure to share with your grandmother, share with your rooster, share with your donkey, share with your chinchilla, share with your moose. I don't care who you share with. Just share with everybody and everything you can. Just set us up like on the side. Let us be your white noise for the day. Just let it play on the background. Tune in when you find something that's interesting to you. Of course, we're here to brighten your day, as we like to say.
Once a week.
I mean, we started kind of slow, I'm not gonna lie to you, but we recovered. So we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Bye.